everybody, welcome to another episode of Ask a Psych Nurse. I'm Dustin, and today our lesson is going to be entitled 13 Reasons Why ADHD is a Superpower. So, as you know with me, I always got my positive perspective on here. Lots of times with ADHD, you just tend to hear about the negative aspects, the hyperactivity, impulsivity, and sometimes people will just flat out say scatterbrain. I'm here to say that ADHD comes with a lot of positive traits. Today we're going to talk about 13 of them. So stay with me and let's focus on the positives of ADHD, all right? First off, people who have ADHD tend to have a very strong moral compass. They really are able to decipher kindness and those sort of things, and even have like an antenna if someone is being mistreated or taken advantage of. And they're very strong in standing up for the underdog. Next thing is their imagination and creativity. People who have ADHD can come up with some of the most extravagant stories and adventures. They seem to have no limit. It seems like their mind is running and processing so fast that they can come up with amazing adventures, which is awesome. Next thing is they're solution driven. Lots of times a negative connotation gets given to people with ADHD as they're not patient enough. But part of this is because there's so much fluff in the world of people talking for no reason. ADHD people are a large majority of the time solution driven. They want to know what the purpose of this is so they can accomplish it and move on to the next thing, which is an amazing trait in a world where lots of things go on just to go on with no real purpose or solution. The next thing, sense of humor. People who have ADHD, well, for example, I mean, the list of comedians is endless. I mean, two of the ones that I admire most, Jim Carrey and Bill Burr, both both have the tool of ADHD. And the way they can come up with everything and their mind can go from one thing to the next, it's awesome. It's a really awesome trait. Further gift is that they're 100% vested. When someone with ADHD goes into something, they go into it 100%. And this is sometimes why in class, but it has to be something to interest them and have a goal and a solution that they're interested in, or else they have trouble being committed. But once committed, they will see it all the way through. I heard story, you know, while I'm teaching one time, one of my students brought up that who had ADHD. One morning he had just gotten a new video game, and he woke up in the morning and played the video game and only thought he had been involved in it for a little while, and came back out and it was about 9 hours later. But that focus can really be productive when put towards positive things. Our next one is perseverance. This is something that I think is sometimes misdirected and looked at, is that people with ADHD sometimes feel like a burden to people who don't have ADHD. And the people who don't have ADHD, let that be known to the other people, that they're irritated or that they're annoyed by them. Therefore, this happens for almost the entire life of the person who has ADHD, but they still persevere. They continue to go on. That rejection and annoyance by others gives them a strength to continue going on even when others are not necessarily being kind or supportive of them. So perseverance is another great trait. Another great trait is maximized environmental processing. When a person with ADHD walks into a new environment, they are continually absorbing information of their surroundings and processing, and they can see things that other people walk right by and aren't even in tune to because of how quickly and efficiently their mind works. Next one is their hyper-focus. This kind of goes back to the video game, but when someone with ADHD gets focused on something, nothing can stop them until they have come to a solution. All right, the next powerful trait of ADHD is multitasking. This is an awesome one. Personally, I wish I had this and I could do it efficiently. Though sometimes the focus has been on that people don't follow through with everything when they have ADHD. That when you really see it in action, it's questionable whether that's factual or not. And I think the perfect example is Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan has ADHD, and when he was on the court, he knew where everybody was. He knew the most efficient and effective move to make on that court to give him the advantage. Probably the greatest basketball player of all time, maybe some arguments there, but at the end of the day, his ADHD made him have superpowers on that court because of the way he could process things quicker and more effectively than others. All right, the next trait is endless energy. People with ADHD have a life energy that is off the charts. They can go and go and go. These are the kind of people that you want as employees. They can start in the morning and hit it for 16 hours a day and be efficient, effective, and since they're solution driven, come up with solutions. And isn't that what we all want as employers or educators? So awesome trait there. Our next one is zeal for life. This kind of ties into the high energy, of course, but people with ADHD tend to love life. They like to go on adventures, they like to travel, they like to, a person with ADHD, the opportunities and options are endless. So they really have a zest and a zeal for life, which I admire and is an awesome superhero trait. Next, we have resilience. This, and I have a whole video on resilience. Resilience is such an efficient and effective tool towards success in life. And people with ADHD, because of the way their mind thinks and that it's different than other people, they do have some challenges. They always bounce back and even have that extra energy to plow forward and use those challenges to overcome and be successful in life. And finally, the last one is people with ADHD are typically very accepting of others and others' challenges and secure in themselves. Kind of like mentioned before, because in life, people have had a tendency to be annoyed by them or irritated by how quick they do things and how quick they process things and how people think they're always distracted. Most people with ADHD have a very compassionate heart and are able to understand how others feel when they have challenges because of the challenges they've faced themselves. And this has built a security in themselves that goes beyond what most people have. And it's very admirable, and it's truly a superhero trait. So now I have gone through the positive things of ADHD. Yes, you know, there's lots of other information about signs and symptoms of ADHD and all these sort of things, but my focus is always viewing things through the positive perspective. And I had a great time learning and educating myself, and hopefully you guys, of all the positive traits. Before I started researching for this video, I didn't know Michael Jordan had ADHD or Bill Burr or Jim Carrey or any of those. Uh-oh, look at that. the pain and of the past and the persecution. It fell off. I got to keep it right here. If you've watched my other videos, you know, I have to accept it's there, but I'm going to view everything through my positive perspective. But that being said, to get back to the ADHD, never know what's going to happen here, so got to improvise a little. But to get back to the ADHD, there is a book that really shows the gifts and the positiveness of ADHD. It's called Faster Than Normal by author Peter Shankman. Peter Shankman. So the link for that book will be right below. Once again, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. I want you to be strong, be brave, be courageous, and have an awesome day.